Yo, what's good everybody? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the biggest mistakes that new meme coin traders do and how you can avoid that so that you can become a very high level trader. Now, before we get into this, I wanted to break down briefly what's been happening with Solana, what's been happening with Bitcoin. If you guys cannot see by the chart already, right? Solana is looking turbo bullish, right? And we haven't even got our rate cuts yet. So rate cuts should be, I believe it's on the 18th or the 19th of September. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. But there's like a 90% chance that we're gonna get them, and then like a 10% chance it's like the super giga candle. Which if it does, I think it's like 0.5% or whatever. Which if it does do that, Sol's like gonna insta Drake candle to 300. But with the 90% chance the other way, easily, I believe actually, like I have conviction. I have longs and Sol opened right now. And if you don't believe me, I can whip out my Mexi account. Let me see. I believe in this because look at how beautiful we're set up. Let me go on like a bigger time frame. We've already wicked out all these lows right here, and we've held this support beautifully. And there's going to be so much liquidity that's going to be getting wiped out at around 220, and this thing is just going to fly. You could see it tried yesterday, right? But there's a lot of sell pressure up here. So if it can break past, this thing is just going to start rocketing. And the thing is with Solana, you have to be smart with how you're playing it, because let me go on like a bigger time frame. Solana doesn't stay in these like turbo like I guess nuclear like sending zones for super long, right? You could see it had one right here. You could see it had one right here. You could see it had one right here. And this was the one that marked the top for Bitcoin, right? And this only lasted like a very short period of time. So yes, like we've been building up. And in my opinion, right, not financial advice, of course, nothing in this video is financial advice. This is my opinion. This thing is going to start shooting up when we have rate cuts. And there's other good catalysts in the future, right? So if you're selling Solana, if you're trying to short, whatever, Solana, I think that's a bad decision. I think the whole market is due for some crazy upside, especially with all the bullish catalysts. So I know this is a little bit different than usual, and you're wondering maybe why this matters, why this applies to you. Well, everything that happens on Solana eventually trickles down, actually very quickly trickles down into meme coins. And you can notice that by the market, the volume that's going on in Pump Fund or the volume that's going on in Bonk. So we could look at like the hourly meta, right? So these are like the hourly metas, what's trending. We can also look at the hourly volume. So the hourly volume currently on Pump Fund is kind of a little bit lower. As well as another statistic is the amount of active traders is at like an all-time low. So the amount of people that are actually trading on chain is it like an all-time low. So the peak interest in meme coins right now is very low compared to what it used to be around here. So I'm going to be, in this video, I'm going to be explaining like the top mistakes that new people make. But first, I want to clarify my conviction. I'll show you my longs right now. Let me go to futures. Let's see here. Okay, so I have a long opened up currently. It says 15x. I think I DCA'd with another. I actually DCA'd on this dip. Let me see where it went. I DCA'd on this dip right here. I'm not the most satisfied with my entry because I could have entered in like a little bit lower at around 200, but we're still up pretty decent amount. And I'm targeting around 240 to 250, right? Maybe a little bit lower, we'll see. But if we're able to finally break this 220 zone, maybe it's tonight, maybe it's in a week from now, maybe it's in, rate cuts or whatever, FOMC meeting, then the market's going to go absolutely parabolic. And, with this account, guys, I've ran it up from like $1,000 or $800 or whatever. So let me see. I think we're sitting at around 6.1K right now. And yeah, it's only been like 2 weeks. So if you guys are curious, I still do trade meme coins, of course. There's a lot of good volume on perpetuals right now. And yeah, meme coins are great. You can still make tons of money in meme coins. And versus like time efficiency, I still think meme coins is the best. With perpetuals, yes, you can have like, lucky or like plays that come out like easy, etc. But these sometimes take a little bit to play out. With meme coins, with like time efficiency, you could flip 1 Sol, 2 Sol into like 5-10 Sol, right, by the end of the night. Realistically, yes, you can go like Cupsy style and make like 30K a day, whatever. But realistically, yes, you can make like 5K a day, 1K a day. You could, easily, you could super easily make like 1 to 2 SOL a day. Now, yes, that sounds like a crazy amount when, because most people make that in like a week at their job, right? Like 2 SOL, they make like 400, 500, 600 a week. But if you guys really just come down to terms of SOL, when you like, actually, I'm going to go back. I'm bouncing around a lot, right? Because there's a lot of different things I want to talk about. There's a lot of things I want to clear up because there's so much things that have been happening in the market. But to summarize things, yes, I'm bullish on SOL. I do believe if it breaks this 220 zone, it's going to go absolutely flying. I have other positions opened, not just on Mexi, just other positions on other exchanges, just to diversify a little bit. I've been dabbling a lot in perpetuals. Actually in the VIP. So if you guys are not in the server yet, make sure you guys join. So I do have a free server. I also do have a paid section for VIP members. We've had calls, I think it's like 8 times in a row. So it's 100% win rate on 8 times in a row already. So we have yet to have one losing trade, which is pretty insane. And that's just on one of the calls. We have a bunch of different callers that call out coins. I've had someone run up $100 account all the way up to, I believe it was like 2K. Another guy that's only been in there for like 3 weeks, he's ran it up to 3K. And yeah, obviously be realistic with your expectations, but there's a lot of money to be made in the market. Whether it's meme coins, whether it's perpetuals, there's so many different ways to make money. And this is what we try to teach. This is what we're all about, right? It doesn't matter what's going on. We're always trying to make money, whether the market's going up or whether the market's going down. There is so much money to be made as long as you're focused, as long as you have the right people that are actually locked in, right? And how do you find those right people? You join in the server, and there's lots and lots of really cool people, especially even in the free section of the server. There's a lot of people that are always active, trenching, and trying to make money. Now, how does all this stuff that I just rambled off about important to you, right? Well, like I said, everything will trickle down into meme coins at the end of the day. So when Bitcoin pumps, it trickles down into Ethereum. When Ethereum pumps, it trickles down into Solana. When Solana, it goes into all these other altcoins, right? Sui, XRP, whatever. And then it trickles down into meme coins. And then that trickles down into the micro caps, right? Like what you see on New Pairs and Final Stretch and Migrated. And this is where all the crazy volume comes in. So if you guys remember how the market was back in, over in here in like January, November, right? This was like the peak of the market. Well, let me drop back here. This was the peak of the market in this area. I literally was cooking. Everybody was cooking, right? And you didn't even have to be that crazy of a trader. You just had to be somewhat decent and know a little bit about trading. I guarantee you, 9 out of 10 of you guys that watch my videos will already be at a higher level than 99% of people that will be coming in once Solana just starts straight candling. All your friends are going to be asking you, how do I get Solana? How do I trade meme coins? All your grandma's going to be asking you how to trade meme coins. And this is the people you're versing against. You're not going to be, yes, you're going to verse against Cupsy, but there's going to be like 100, there's going to be like 10, 15, 20 times more people in the trenches. So it's going to be way less PvP against these very high skill traders, right? Whether it's like me, whether it's Cupsy, whatever, all these other people, right? Whether they're scalpers, this, that, or the other, you're not going to have to worry about this PvP because it's like my server versus another person's server versus this server. And all these people, all these groups are versing each other trying to make money, right? There's barely any retail in right now. Even though Solana is starting to cook back up, we can see we're what's the word for it? We haven't seen these crazy giga candles, right? These trade candles to the upside yet. That's why I'm so bullish on Sol, because Sol has yet to come break a new all-time high, and I'm really confident it will. And yes, there's a possibility that we go into the bear market. Yes, you can always be a bear, but being a bear never really paid off in the long run. Yes, I've made money shorting it. I opened up a short, as we can see back here. And let's see where I closed it. Yeah, back here, closed it here. So yes, you can make money shorting if you do it the correct way and you're smart about it. But, and yeah, like with shorting meme coins, yeah, that's like a 99% success rate. I talk about that, especially do calls in the VIP. We've been super accurate with some calls. So yeah, like it's honest, like all jokes aside, all seriousness, like bro, it's like it's the price of lunch money for the week for VIP. Even if you get the 1 year, you could literally pay it off in one trade. One good trade, you can pay it off. But most people are too scared to like even do that, and that's why you guys are gonna lose. It doesn't have to be me. You can go do whatever you guys want, right? You can go join a different server, etc. I'm just saying, like, it's so cheap. Like most people will just end up giving back their money to the market and wishing that they did at least learn a little bit. Because what's the worst that could happen? Maybe it's not for you and you don't like it, but then you learn like 10 times more stuff than you already would have, and you become a better trader at the end of the day. But that wouldn't happen because there's so much info in there, right? We have courses, we have mentors, etc., right? You can even get one-on-ones with me if you get the 3-month plus. So yeah, like, I know I keep shilling it, but I'm just saying, like, for the price that it is just like, it baffles me, right? Because yes, we've been growing like crazy, but it is just, you know, I want to increase the price. I might quadruple it, right? Because like, or make it like super limited access, just because of how, you know, like, there's some really, really good calls that we've been doing in there. But yes, this all eventually does trickle down into meme coins. And I think some crazy, you know, runners are going to start happening. We're starting to see these kind of, you know, bigger coins. You guys remember when we had like Mudang and all these big coins that went up to hundreds of mils? We have yet to see the real bull run. And I think that's coming up very closely. I mean, as we can see, like, from the time of making this video, Solana's starting to candle up. Now, yeah, we don't really know. Is it going to break 220 tonight? That would be crazy. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of upside liquidity because it's going to wipe out a lot of shorts. A lot of people are betting against Solana in the zone. And yes, I understand that it's possible that, you know, if it could reject it again, we could come back down again and retest lows. But in the overall long term, I'm fine with holding this, you know, for a couple weeks to maybe 2 months. And I think it's going to be a very good play. Now, obviously, you can see I'm using 15x leverage. I'm not using some degen like 300x leverage and I'm going to get wicked out instantly. You guys, this is what most like retail like normies do, and this is why everybody gets wrecked in everything, especially, you know, even in meme coins, because sure, there's no leverage in meme coins, but most people just gamble. Most people just watch the YouTubers that are like, oh, buy new pairs and buy after Cupsy. And this is where we're going to actually start the video on the biggest mistakes that people make and that I made myself when I started trading meme coins. Because the truth is, if you don't fix these, you will never, ever make it. Ever. I promise you, you will never make it if you don't fix these. These are like the most crucial things that you need to change if you're trading. Well, what's the first one? So I feel like all of us have a very similar story starting out with meme coins or starting out with crypto. And what is that? Well, that's watching a, you know, I'm not going to call names. I'm just saying watching a normie YouTuber that says, you know, go on wallet tracker, you know, go like just doing the most basic stuff, Axiom fees, this, that, which, yes, I've made a video about explaining how to set everything up, but that's like their whole basis, right? I want to give you guys actual alpha, actual information to actually make you guys better, because you guys are my viewers. I want my viewers. I want my people in the server. I want you guys to win because that reflects how I'm doing. These other people are just complete farmers. They don't care about you. And that's just the blatant truth. So the first thing is sitting on wallet tracker. I did this. I'm just going to say it. I did this too when I was learning. And, you know, just copy trading people. It doesn't have to be through like a copy trading bot like Bloom relatively, but it can be just copy trading. You're like, oh, Eurus bought something. Let's look at this coin. And then you buy after him, right? Or we could just like use another example. Oh, let's see, like Casino bought something. And then like, these are like the worst charts. I'm not going to lie. I'm trying to find like a decent example. Let's see, AirPod. Like Cooker bought something. Then you buy right here, for example. And then he sells and it goes all the way down to 0. So this is like what most people do. Sorry. This is what most people do. And this is why most people get wrecked. Because why do you think Cupsy has copy traders, right? Yes, like my people that have been here for a while, you know, like laugh at like, you know, the copy traders, people copy trading Cupsy. But the people that are the people that are brand new to this space, right? They just watched a video, you know, from somebody, and, you know, they got their Axiom set up and everything, but they weren't guided correctly to understand that, you know, copy trading isn't going to work. Now, yes, certain wallets you can copy trade and it will work, but you have to find the right wallets, and, you know, you have to do on-chain analysis, etc. So for beginners, you know, what, let's see, AirPod, hold on, good, AirPod tech. Wait, is that actually an AirPod tweet? Okay, that would have been funny. So going back to copy trading, nine times out of 10 it does not work, and most people do get rinsed copy trading. And this is like, because people are like, oh, if Cupsy makes 2 mil a month, if I buy after him, then I can get a little piece of the pie, right? But the truth is, if you do look deeper into the analysis, well, he holds his coins for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. So he a lot of the time he's able to get out of these coins with 0 losses, because he's able to, you know, use his, I guess, copy traders as exit liquidity, right? Which, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, that most people would do the same thing too, right? But, and yes, I do think he's a good trader, but the copy traders is like a plus. Same thing with all these other guys, right? It's just a plus, but that's where they're like never able to lose coin. Because if they buy in at 10K, you know, they make instantly a candle that goes up to 15K, right? So they're in at like the lowest because all their copy traders. So if the price were to go down, they could just sell at break even, worst case scenario. Or they could just buy again, wait for the copy traders to buy, and then sell. You guys have all seen this. If you guys have been trading for just a little bit of time, you'll understand that this doesn't work. But if you guys are a new trader, or you've been, you've been falling for the like propaganda of like copy trading, whatever, then yeah, this is not going to work. I promise you. And another thing I wanted to say, why don't like a lot of new people get wrecked? Well, this one actually is, comes down to the fees. I notice a lot of people when even myself. So I don't know if you guys remember back when we had BullX, but their fees were so buns. So the presets that you get for signing up are like 0.1 Solana, like in fees. So like if you click on preset, it would automatically set you at like 0.1 and then 0.05. So you're paying like $20 in fees or something crazy. So you'd buy into a coin with 1 Sol and sell it for break even and be down 0.2. And you're like, how does that even work? Do you know what I'm saying? But it's just the fees. You're just like getting absolutely scammed on fees, even though you do not need to pay that much at all. So this is one of the most important things when you're setting up your Axiom, is to make sure you're doing it properly. And if you guys have anything below a 1 Sol port, I would recommend using 0.001 and 0.001 for your fees. If you're trading 1 Sol or more, I would recommend doing 0.001 and double zeros for priority and bribe. Obviously use MEV protection for buy no matter what, and use for sell. You don't really need to use MEV protection. Put your MEV protection on reduced, because if you put it on secure, it's going to be super slow. And yeah, you don't want to get MEV, because MEV means your transaction gets sandwiched between a bot and let's say you buy here, but you actually would have gone filled up here. Even though you push buy right here, you do not want to get MEV'd, I promise you. I've had a friend that bought in at 8K and got MEV'd to 30K. So and you automatically start off down 90%. So that's something you don't want to do. Now there's other things you can do to make your transactions even more faster, which would be setting up your own custom node, which I explained in the VIP. You can literally get your transactions around 5 to 10 times faster than just normally trading on Axiom. Yes, you're still trading on Axiom, but there's a couple extra steps. So your transactions are lightning fast. And, I'd break down exactly how to set that up, and as well as a bunch of, sorry, my throat. As well as a bunch of other things. And yeah, the whole point of, trading is having an edge. Why do I keep, pushing out the VIP or all these other, why do I keep pushing out the server? Well, first of all, in my opinion, anything in this space, anything ever, is just pay to win. If you pay to win, you're like, go to like any game, like most of them are pay to win, right? Even some of the skins, even though it's not a pay to win game, some of the skins are pay to win. They have better optics, whatever. That's the whole truth with the trenches as well. If you have a good PC setup and you're not trading on a phone, if you got a good Discord server it's literally like trading like squads, right? You're literally trading with other people, even if you're in the free server, even if you don't get in the VIP. Right? Even if you're just trading with, the members in the voice chats, whatever, you have a way better edge than a lot of other people, right? But in order to sharpen that blade, yes, you can get into these insider groups, into these VIP groups, get into these calls early, etc. Yeah, it's pay to win. That's just, you know, if you don't like it, you don't just go to something else. It'll be pay to win somewhere else, right? You're going to pay for a mentor on drop shipping. You're going to pay for a mentor somewhere else. It's completely fine, right? You can hate the player, but you can't hate the game, or whatever the saying goes by. But going back to it, right? I think meme coins are going to go absolutely insane. All right. And, you know, yes, you can believe that or not. I think Sol is setting up for a juicy candle to the upside as soon as we can break this 220 zone. Yeah, maybe we do hit around 220, but you know, I'm not saying exactly 220 it just starts skyrocketing. There's going to be a lot of sell pressure, but if it can have an obvious candle above 220, I think in the next coming weeks it's going to do some crazy numbers, which when I talk about Sol going up, that means the trenches are going to be on fire. If you guys don't remember November, October, December, January, these months were the most insane months for the trenches, and we have yet to see those months, you know, come. And yes, we've been making money. If there was no money to be made, Cupsy wouldn't be here. Nobody would be being here. This wallet tracker would be empty. There is still money to be made in here. Yes, the volume's a little bit slower. Don't believe all these people saying, oh, there's no more money in meme coins anymore. It's dead. These are the people that lose. These are the people that sell Solana when, you know, they bought in at $5 and they sold at 10. The real money to be made is when you're in this space for a while. This is the best time to learn how to trade. I promise you, this is the best time to learn when it's hard. It's still not even that hard. I'm going to be honest. Like, do you really think this is harder than going to work at McDonald's? I've worked jobs before. Actually, my first job was at McDonald's, all right? So, if you guys actually lock in, you can make so much money. Would you rather be working for $15 an hour, $14 an hour, you know, making 20, 30K a year? Or would you actually rather lock in, you know, yes, you might lose a little bit of money, take the risk, whatever, learning how to trade. I lost good amount of money learning how to trade. Some people barely lose anything. You know, you could go paper trade if you don't want to lose money. It took me almost 4 months. And for some people, it might take 6 months. It might take a year. For some people, it might take 2 months or 1 month. The learning curve, there's definitely a learning curve. I'm not going to lie. But if you guys are too arrogant and, you know, too cocky to think that, oh, if I don't figure this out in 1 week, I'm not going to, you know, it's not for me, then fine. All right. Like, let that be. So I'm not trying to go off on a crazy rant. I'm just like, just spitting out facts. All right. Like, if you do decide to lock in, right, you can make up all the excuses. Oh, I can't, you know, oh, why do I have to buy for the VIP? Or, oh, why should I join the server? The server's free. I'm literally giving you guys straight alpha in there for free. You get to connect with better traders, right? The thing is why most people fail in this space is they're too cocky and they're too arrogant. They come in this space thinking they know everything, and they don't want to learn. They don't want to learn from people that are better than them by 1,000 times. And they always stay in this mindset. They always are, you know, hating the players at the top. They're always hating the people that are making the money. Yes, I'm going to be for real. Yes, it is annoying to get dumped on by Cupsy, but there is things to learn from how he trades. There's things to learn from how Wes trades, you know, Orangey, all these different people. You can learn and watch their trades and, you know, maybe implicate that into your own trading style. You can implicate my trades into your own trading style. Yes, you can kind of, you know, you can hate the game, how they're playing it. Yes, they do farm. That's an obvious fact. We all know that, boys. Like, we've been in the trenches for a little bit. That should be common knowledge. But I want the best for my community. I want you guys to win, you know, and the only thing you have to do is put in the work. I promise you. The one thing too is most people give up, not just because, you know, they give up because they're quitters, but because they run out of capital. So the next important thing is managing your risk. I promise you guys, this is what completely wrecked me at the beginning, is I wasn't managing risk. Yes, I got lucky on some plays. You know, I made a good amount of money on the Take coin that came out back last year. This is when like meme coins were like Solana meme coins were super new. We were trading on Phantom Wallet, and then there was Mother coin, which is like Mother Iggy, if anybody remembers that coin. And that was so easy. Like, it was so easy. We like, you know, we pray for times like that again, right? Because most people didn't cheat like crazy. But if we go to now, right, it's a lot more PvP, you know. a lot more of a rotational market than, when the next runner comes in, everybody sells the old runner. So it's super, super, super important to be learning, analyzing, watching what's going on and putting in the hours, because this is what will separate you from everybody else. Everybody else is offline right now. Yes, I'm not trading as much, on meme coins. Yes, I'm still trading meme coins, of course. Duh, there's still money to be made. But also been trading perpetuals, and I've been super open about that. I've been saying I've been making good money with perpetuals lately. We've been finding good plays, good cooks, while, meme coins have been a little bit slower. But there's probably like 10 times more money, in my opinion, to be made in meme coins when the market is hot. This is when you guys want to be learning. This is when you guys want to be trenching. And the most important thing with risk management is some people start off with 0.5 sol port. Some people start off with 10 sol, 1 sol, 50 sol, 100 sol. It doesn't matter what you start with. What you start with does not ever give you an edge, I promise you. I started with a bigger balance. I made money before crypto. I started with a bigger balance. And I got absolutely rinsed at the beginning because I didn't have any proper risk management. And it doesn't matter like I said again, I'll say it again. What you start with, how much sol you start with, does not give you an edge, or does not give you an advantage or a head start in front of other people. The thing is, I literally ran down to like my last 1 sol or 0.3 sol, and I ran it all the way up. I ran it all the way up to like 40 something K within the span of like a month and a half, from November and December, on my BullX account. And then we moved on to Axiom, ran it up on there. So if I can do it, right, I'm just a normal guy. I'm obviously like a little bit better than normal. I mean, we're like chill with it. But okay, like I said, right, I'm a normal guy. But in terms of a lot of things, I'm definitely like on the higher end, but like chill with it. Okay, like I said, if you guys lock in, it doesn't matter what you start with. Get the thought out of your head that, I need to hit this much sol, or I need to have this much sol to get started. Once I get this, I'll get started. You have to start now. That's what separates everybody else. Everybody else is waiting for the perfect time. They're slow, lethargic, always finding an excuse. If you guys can take action now, whether you're on a laptop, whether you're on, I don't know what, on whatever you're on, if you can actually learn how to take action now, learn all these things, make all the mistakes, paper trade. If you don't have any Solana, go to sniper.xyz and learn how to paper trade, right? You can trade with fake Solana balance, and it's not like your actual Solana, and you can learn all the mistakes without any of the, losses. Now, the truth is that, yes, you can lose money constantly for months or weeks in the trenches when you're learning. That's just the cold hard truth. Nobody talks about that because it's not like a glorified thing. But people don't also talk about how fast you can make it back once you start becoming profitable. So it's super, super, super important to manage risk. If you have a 1 sol, or let's say you have a 10 sol portfolio, I would advise trading with 1 sol or 0.5 sol per trade. Don't trade, your 5 sol or 10 sol per trade. Don't worry about the dollar amount that you're making. Don't even worry about making money at the beginning. This is one of the biggest mistakes that new people make. Don't even worry about the money that you're making at first. Actually focus on, percent. Focus on, I made this much percent. You want to lower your risk of ruin. You want to lower your 80 to 90, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% losses. You want to risk that all the way down to 10, 20, 30% max. And then your upside, you want to be minimum 20% profit. And then, obviously the ceiling is infinite, right? Once you start to understand those coins a lot more, you're going to be able to see what can actually run and, what doesn't. Now, I know a lot of these other YouTubers BS. They just talk and they talk and they talk. And yeah, for me, I obviously talk a lot. Like, that's like a no-brainer. But I like to believe I'm talking about good information, good alpha, etc. I'm pretty open about all my trades. Yes, I have different wallets, of course, and I have wallets that are not doxed, so I'm not going to dox my main wallets, just for like personal reasons, etc. But I've been pretty open with this Mexi account. I've been literally breaking down every single trade that I've taken on this account. in the VIP. So if you guys were following my trades, you guys, if you like say you started with $100, you would be up to $600. So honestly, not pretty bad ROI on your investment, because you could have paid off like a free 6 months of VIP with that. But yeah, I honestly plan on running this up to some pretty big numbers. Yes, I did take a couple losses. Let's try to find them. We took a $20 loss on Yeezy. I re-entered it. It pumped up again, and then I just put a wig for break even. It was a really weird pump. I don't know why, but I do plan on reopening this in the future. And obviously, I'm not going to explain why in this video, but I do plan on reopening this in the future when some future news does come out. With World Liberty Financial, I did make around 113. I made around 163 with this Sol long. It looks like, was this Sol a long? I believe it was a long, or maybe it was a short. I can't remember. No, it was a short. It was a short, it looks like. Which I was up around, I think I was actually up around $400 or $500. Just was being a little bit too greedy on that, I'm not gonna lie. 200 on Yeezy again, 367 on Sol. And yeah, just stacking consistent wins. Yes, I did take a $58 loss on this coin, BSU, OKB, which is OKX token. So yeah, I try to be as open with my trades as possible. I'm not the most perfect trader. There's definitely traders that are better than me, etc. This is kind of what I've been dabbling on. I don't just trade on Mexi. I trade on Quanto as well, which is another, exchange for, like shorting meme coins primarily. What's the other one? I have like 8 different exchanges. So we have LBank, KSEX, which is actually insanely low fees, Femex, 2bit, Weeks. I got like 20 different exchanges, 10 different bank accounts. Like obviously this might not be important at the moment, in my opinion, especially when you guys are, moving up the ranks of trading. I'm going to show the VIP again. Even people in there, I'm trying to educate them on the importance of having diversity, whether it's bank accounts, whether it, obviously different wallets, cold wallets, Ledger, Treasure, whatever you want, right? As well as exchanges. And these exchanges might sound foreign to you because there's, if you live in the US, you can't really access some of these, but there is ways around that. And, we talk about how to get into those. Obviously all legal, right? We don't do anything illegal. But yeah, there's so much ways to make money in here, guys. Whether it's in meme coins, perpetuals, you can even farm, like airdrops. There is like 1,000 different ways to make money. There is so much opportunity in this. And yeah, I just have energy in this video. Obviously Sol's pumping, so I'm hyped. But yeah, like there's so much opportunity. In the next couple of weeks to next couple of months, I see the trenches, literally catching on fire. Everything is going to be setting. You're going to be seeing like 5-6 coins at 50, 60K, 80K about to migrate. Everything just flying, right? And this is where you need to learn now, because you don't want to be the guy that was procrastinating and he's joining on, at the end of the race and getting mass extracted by everybody, right? Because eventually, yes, we will have another dip again. And yeah, because nothing ever goes up forever. But even when Solana was at $100, when it went down from 90 and then pumped all the way back up to 100, the trenches were actually active, right? So there's really no excuse. I do think the trenches are going to be a long-term thing. The people are like, oh, but are the trenches going to die? Absolutely not. Do you guys really think that? Yes, maybe we're trading on a different chain. Maybe we're not on Solana. Maybe we're on BNB. Maybe it's on a different platform, whatever. Yes, I can admit that things can change, but the truth is, as long as crypto's around, right, I'm very confident that we're going to have meme coins. We still have Doge, we still have Shiba. These are like icons. This is actually what makes people want to get into crypto, right? Because yes, sometimes, like for a lot of people, Bitcoin's boring, ETH, Solana, like that's boring. People are like, Dogecoin, if I buy one Dogecoin at 10 cents, if it goes to $1, if it goes to $100, I'm going to be a millionaire, whatever. And this is probably what got me into the market, right? Shiba Inu. But this is probably what gets a lot of other people, right? Hearing about these tokens that sent, or, for example, a lot of normies got onboarded on the Trump coin. And, there was Saitama. I could just go off for on and on, of all these different coins. And this kind of makes a staple for meme coins, right? It's like the penny stock. It's like penny stocks, but for the crypto market. And there's always going to be that niche. But the niche is constantly growing and growing. And right now we're seeing record low interest. And this is usually the perfect time to get in and learn how to do this, because once we start getting all that interest back into meme coins, and all that volume from Solana, all this pumping volume starts trickling down into pump fund, etc. You know what? We can even look at pump token on futures. Pump token. This thing has been going absolutely crazy, and I actually have a long on this as well. Let me fix my chart. Look at that crazy candle, boys. Like, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how many ladies we have watching this video. We might have a couple, so ladies and gentlemen, of course. But look at look at pump coin. This thing is absolutely candling right now. And if you don't think this is bullish for pump fund, for meme coins, you guys are absolutely crazy, in my opinion. I still think this has so much more upside to go. And, I kind of top blasted this long. I think my entry was around here, but I mean, today we just had a crazy candle. And not only that, when we have the pump fund airdrop, everybody that's been trading meme coins on pump fund will get a percentage of the coins that are on pump fund through the airdrop, etc. Right? So that's another incentive. We're going to have the Axiom airdrop. So just for trading on Axiom, you guys will be able to get free, like their own coin, which you can, keep or sell for, like, Solana, whatever. There is so much money and potential to be made in this. It can happen so fast, right? Things can change so fast, and nobody's ready for that, right? Nobody's ever ready. Nobody's ever prepared, because they're always sidelined. They're always too scared. Everybody thinks, there's a word for it. I'm not going to go off because of YouTube, but there's something called a something fake out. And, this is what we had right here. Everybody thought Solana was going to go down. But if you guys are Chads, you don't let the blank fake out get you. And, we're going to send Sol to like $500, bro. And we're going to be driving our yachts, boys. So, if you guys like these kind of videos, of me maybe breaking down the market, also touching up on the biggest mistakes that new meme coin traders make, etc. Make sure you guys like that smash button, of course, right? And smash that subscribe button, or subscribe that smash button, whatever you guys want to do. And yeah, boys, I mean, there's, you guys, if you're sidelined, all the people in the Star Society Discord server are going to be driving Lambos in front of your houses. So, you either listen to me now or you hop on later, right? It's your choice, not forcing anybody. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that's been supporting. The server's been growing like crazy. I believe we have over like almost 8,000 people in there. So, we have so much. It's not just me, right? It's everybody in here. We're all working at this together. Everybody's working and learning. Yes, we have bad days. That's part of trading. And you need to learn how to learn from those and make the next days even better and better. But yeah, so obviously, like I said, smash that subscribe button, etc. Drop a comment for any future videos. I listen to all the comments. I try to get back to all the comments. So if you guys have any recommendations, for any videos that you'd like me to touch up on, etc., please let me know down in the comments, because I'd love to, make videos for you guys, right? I try to come up with very good ideas myself, but you guys also have very, very good ideas, or like things that, that you want to talk about, because who am I making videos for? Well, it's obviously for my audience. So, duh. Now, you can also do that in the server. We have a free VC. We have free voice chats. We also are doing free calls for a week from VIP, and we're forwarding them to the free part of the server. So if you guys want free calls that are literally VIP, you're literally saving like $600, and it's literally a free server. There is like, if you're not joining it, then I mean, you're fried. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, I appreciate everybody that shows up and watches the videos, shows support. It really, really does mean a lot to me. There's a lot of really, really cool people in this space. Yes, there's a lot of weirdos, of course. It's like that in every space. There's a lot of really, really cool people, especially in the server. A lot of really cool people I've been talking to and meeting. So without any further ado, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and yeah, till next time.